What's going on, everyone? Rick Ucchino here for SK Wrestling once again to talk to you about the latest edition of Monday Night Raw. Will Sheamus eventually turn on Drew McIntyre, and should he? Is Lana getting a win over Shayna Baszler really that big of a deal? And why on God's green earth is Mia Yim losing her debut match? Join me as I take a look at what Raw got right this week and what they got horribly wrong. And let's just start right here, folks. WWE just cannot seem to get out of its own way with Retribution. Mustafa Ali, he's doing his absolute best to make chicken salad out of, well, you know what. This is already an extremely hard gimmick to get over, but WWE refuses to help them out at all. Retribution featured in 2 matches. Monday, Slapjack did defeat Ricochet, okay, cool, but only after he took out nearly every member of the group, which allowed Slapjack enough time to hit his finisher and get the pinfall. I'll give him this, though. It's a really nice finisher. Great, awesome, moving on. If the night would have ended there, alright, whatever, a win is still a win. But later on in the evening, Reckoning, aka Mia Yim, would make her Raw in-ring debut against a returning Dana Brooke, a match by all counts she should have won, and in convincing fashion. Nope, she lost both her mask and later on the match itself. A brief distraction by Ali backfired and Dana rolled her up for the 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, Ali started screaming at Reckoning over and over that there is no failure in Retribution. Dude, for real? Like, this whole group has been one massive failure, but it's far from the talent's fault. Mia Yim, just like every other member of Retribution, deserves so much better than what they're getting right now. If this angle, though, is the seed being planted for Reckoning to split from the group so we can all call her Mia again, then tonight was a win. It was, but if not, booking has to change, because Mia Yim should be working her way towards a match with Asuka, not whatever path she's currently on. Moving on, this isn't so much what WWE got wrong as it is just a plea to a certain talent. And that talent is Jeff Hardy. Jeff, I know you have made a career out of doing death-defying leaps and putting your body through all sorts of torture, but bro, please, I'm begging you, pick your spots, man. Pick your spots. You're 43, you've been doing this for over 28 years now, and I'd like to see you make it to 30. Maybe even have one more run with the WWE Championship. I don't expect you to completely change who you are. You're a daredevil, it's in your blood, I get it. But if Monday's close call with the steel ring steps, when you swanton bombed Elias through a table on the outside, accomplished anything, I hope that it was a light bulb going off in your head that those kind of risks on a random Raw in November aren't necessary. Let's close out this video by going on a run of all the good that we saw, and if I'm talking about things that are good, I'm talking about the Fiend Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. Raw opened up on a really good note when Randy Orton was the special guest on A Moment of Bliss, and the Viper went to a place I was hoping he would go, calling out Bray Wyatt for having feelings, or, well, at the very least, caring about Alexa Bliss. Outside of the Goldberg match that I'm still desperately trying to forget about, we have not seen a weakness in the Fiend character. He is the strongest character in company history. No one has taken more damage than this guy and just kept coming. He is basically Michael Myers. Even for a 14-time world champion like Randy Orton, there just isn't a feasible way for him to take down Bray Wyatt. But Randy's biggest strength is playing mind games, and he's going to try and get to the Fiend through Alexa Bliss, and I'm here for it. We saw a nice hostage exchange type situation to close out A Moment of Bliss between Orton and Wyatt. I'm really interested to see where things go from here. Alright guys, let's talk about this #1 contenders match for the WWE Championship and how WWE just made the absolute right call. Look, I love Keith Lee. He's a stud, he's a star, he's a future world champion, but it just isn't his time yet. It could have been. It absolutely could have been. They could have struck while the iron was hot and capitalized on his win over Randy Orton, but they didn't. That time is past now, and Drew McIntyre is still white hot. So going with AJ Styles is the right move for a couple of reasons. One, he's going to lose. Most likely. I would be really, really stunned if they took the title off of McIntyre this quickly. The last thing Keith Lee or Riddle, for that matter, needs is another loss. Secondly, we're getting Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. Allow me to repeat myself. We're getting Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles. Let's frickin' go. Get hyped, everybody. This is a match that McIntyre has wanted for a very long time. I'm happy he's getting it, and I think it will absolutely deliver. Speaking of Drew McIntyre, really happy to see Sheamus not turning on him on Monday. At least not yet. WWE was laying it on pretty thick Monday that this is the direction they're going. It started with The Miz and Morrison trying to manipulate Sheamus, and then Drew didn't come out to help out his friend when he was being attacked by Miz and Morrison. Keith Lee even approached Sheamus later on in the night and called out the obvious booking of the Celtic Warrior turning on Drew eventually to go after the WWE Championship, which is why I'm hoping the exact opposite actually happens. This is a babyface heel friendship. That is very rare on WWE television. Also, these two guys are buddies in real life and have been for years. With the exception of the New Day, every friendship or brotherhood or whatever in WWE, they all eventually turn on each other. So let's take the road less traveled here and keep this friendship alive. Moreover, McIntyre and Sheamus would be a very welcomed force in the tag division. Long-term booking here, guys. Put those Raw Tag Team Championships on Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Do it, you cowards!
Do it!
And lastly, a bonus for you, because I just don't know what category this falls under. Lana pinned Shayna Baszler on Monday.
What?
And people lost their minds on Twitter. First off, though, good for Lana. That's a win she desperately needed. Secondly, Lana may have got the pinfall over Shayna, but let's be honest here, it was Asuka that beat her with the running knee, so let's just all calm down, nerds. I'm not crazy about this angle either, to be honest with you. I'll give you that. I think Asuka should be doing her own thing, actually defending her championship. And I think WWE should be establishing other tag teams to go after Nia and Shayna. But I'm sorry, Lana actually getting a pinfall victory doesn't bother me all that much, even if it should have been over Nia and not Shayna. I'll give you that, but oh well. The past is the past. Let's move on.